Let's talk about Nagagante and J-Ro for a quick moment. So we know J-Ro. He's the bite and bark, motion controls. He's got the revolver, boomerang. Is really just a very experienced player with bite and bark. Has spent a lot of time playing this character and knows many of the ins and outs. Definitely has learned to really capitalize on a lot of abilities that bite and bark generally possesses that you don't see many other bite and bark players typically do, like bark storage, utilizing Bite's higher speed movement, Endearing Rush, and going for a couple of confirms that Bark allows. Uh... Let's try that again. And then we've got Nagagante, who is a Dr. Coilbane from what I hear, and apparently a really good one. I know very little of them. I know very little of how they play, except from what I've been told, they play similarly to Astro. Which I question whether it's the way that Astro taunts during matches, or just general play style of Astro Ninja's Dr. Coil. And it looks like we're going to be going to Buster Beach for our first match. Just checking up on things. It looks like Bunny Champ was able to take Ninnam down 2-0. And we'll be moving on in brackets. Alright, and we are going to be starting things off. J-Ro facing off against Nagagante. Naga going in with Hydra Parabola, which is... that is quite the interesting loadout. I can actually see it being pretty effective. Hydra's going to do a solid job of covering J-Ro's vertical movement. Can easily also work around that deflect with that multi-hit. And the Parabola is just going to be a solid wall, allowing Nag to be able to block down the Chilla with relative ease, and potentially box out that Boomerang if they're getting some good curves and angles. So far, holding on to a pretty solid lead here. Just getting these light pokes here and there. Keeping this pressure up. But at a very safe distance, just not wanting to get too close to J-Ro. Doesn't really have any need to either, as Nag has that health lead. just keeping up that pressure and could potentially just be able to take this round relatively safely from here. 30 seconds left on the clock, and J-Ro is going to get knocked into critical. Both players ready with rush, but J-Ro not finding the opportunity he's looking for to be able to get that confirmed yet. Tries to go for a couple of wide grabs, but Nerg's going to be able to quickly knock them down and lands the KO with a grab. Starting off the second round, J-Ro going to be the first to land a hit, utilizing the revolvers. Wider coverage, a little bit faster, has a little bit more aim to it. It's going to be a little bit easier to catch Nerg with those multi-hit shots. And it's going to kind of keep up with the Hydra in terms of boxing, but the Parabola is going to be a little bit scarier now. We'll have to see how J-Ro's able to kind of respond to it. So far, J-Ro just holding on to a very light lead. Bark gonna help deepen that lead just slightly. But it's gonna be that shock. No combo off of that one yet. Both players just playing a little too safely, a little too far away from each other. J-Ro thinks he has an opportunity to go in for the rush, but Nerg's safe at a long distance is gonna be able to slip right out of the way. And starts getting some tempo of their own now that that rush is out. Sees a nice opportunity, tries to go for the rush, but J-Ro going to be able to push out. Lands a solid punish. But still, with only 15 seconds left on the clock, he needs to get a rush to connect to be able to balance things out. Maybe a little bit of damage on top, but that grab is going to lead to the KO. And they're going to be able to take the first set. Now at advantage is looking to just take one more set to be able to move on and advance to the semifinals. J-Ro gonna have to get a couple of quick wins to be able to turn things around. They're selecting the stages that they're going to be banning, and it's going to be via DNA Lab. Where would J-Ro want to go? It looks like Nerg is looking to try to get rid of the longest stages, which means J-Ro's probably, if that's how J-Ro's wanting to play, it's probably, Buster Beach might actually be a solid option to go back to. Mausoleum might be a fine choice too, though I could see J-Ro actually looking for a little bit more of an aggressive stage, trying to close Nerg in and utilizing his arms just to kind of pressure them out. Looks like we're going to be going to Mausoleum though. Nice, well-rounded stage, lots of space for movement. No player going to get cornered here. Then again, these two are playing at a relatively safe distance. Neither really looking to try to get too close to each other. So we'll just have to see how this is really going to turn out. I'm suspecting both players are going to be sticking with their loadouts. J-Ro generally not a player to explore too much beyond his primary set. And Nerg, I'm guessing, is pretty comfortable and happy with the Hydra and Parabola, especially since they just took a set off of J-Ro utilizing it. Looks like they also have a Fun Chuck outside, which is a very solid defensive tool with a lot of coverage, pretty similar to the Parabola, but if you're just looking for something a wee bit faster. Okay, we're gonna go back to the Chilla here, and with there being a little bit more of a closer range, means that that Chilla might be able to chase in after its opponent a little bit easier. They're going to be the first one to land some damage, but J-Ro going to be able to balance things out. Neither player really holding on to too much of a lead. Again, these two players playing very defensively, keeping their spacing, not wanting to get too close to the other. Looks like J-Ro's going to be the first ready with Rush. He's going to be looking for some kind of confirm, some kind of window. Just patiently waiting things out. He gets a nice boomerang hit in. But even then, that's still such a minute difference that that Hydra is going to quickly put Nerg back in the lead. He's got to be able to find a way in to start getting some pressure, get some damage in. Nerg also sees an opportunity, tries to go for the rush, going to be able to safely block it off and successfully catches J-Ro before Bark lands in front. Sees a rush opportunity, but Bark's higher ability to utilize Bark to launch himself high into the air is going to allow them to get a really nice punish and take that rush away. 13 seconds left on the clock. Still a pretty solid lead for Nerg, and it seems very likely that they're going to be able to take this match. Not much that J-Ro can do here, and with that final tick, it's going to be Nerg taking another round. J-Ro going to go in with a very interesting setup here, actually opting to put that boomerang away, and is now going in with the revolver and Chilla. Just a barrage of straightforward attacks, looking to try to pummel Nerg down. As J-Ro does utilize motion controls, it's a lot easier for him to throw out those wide grabs. There you can see he utilizes the controller a little bit more straightforward and focused with those grab attempts. Can be a very nice advantage for J-Ro, who's going to be able to dive straight in for that rush, taking advantage of that shield breaker. 205 damage. And J-Ro going to be able to leap right out of the way of that rush, punishes it outright with the revolver. And now continuing to hold on to this lead. These two arms working out very well in conjunction. And they're struggling to keep up with this. Nice grab, going to be able to start some tempo in their favor. Needs a couple more hits to balance out the health difference. But J-Ro's starting to find his ground, find his tempo. A nice read on that movement. Just patiently waiting and shield. Another one like that, and that will put Nerg in advantage. But any hit for J-Ro will just continue to deepen that lead. And with that shield weakening, Nerg might want to just kind of go in for something more aggressive. Ends up getting caught out by this rush, and J-Ro brings the score to 1-1. J-Ro going to be sticking with this loadout. He does have a disadvantage now. Nerg does have the rush ready. We'll have to see what he can do with it, or how he might be able to handle and respond to this potential pressure. The Chilla and Revolver work pretty well together, as it's just allowing him to have a wide coverage of arms. You generally just, obviously you never want to get hit by any arm in the first place, but these are definitely arms that are a little bit more of that case, considering there's just so much widespread fire, and also just confirms and combos like that are so easy to land. Nerg really starting to feel the pressure, trying to close in that distance. The rush comes out, safely blocking down that Chilla with the Parabola, but Nerg only has 1 health left, while J-Ro has more than enough to work with, and Bark is going to seal the deal there, bringing the scores to 1-1. Bark is seriously, like, so good. People keep forgetting how good Bark can be in a lot of exchanges. When used well, or when completely forgotten about, especially in a matchup like Dr. Coil, Bark is a pain for a Coil player to generally counter, as you have to utilize, like, big, heavy arms, like the Parabola, like the Hydra, so Nerg does have good answers, but also Bark can sometimes just throw out a toaster and you get smacked. Looks like we're going to be heading to sparring for the next match. A much more aggressive stage. There's going to be a lot less space for these two to kind of step back at and play at long range. There's also corners in this stage, which means that if you get locked down, there's going to be a lot less room for you to breathe. Looks like Jero coming back into the ring again, with the cursed internet that he is burdened to live with. But he manages to make it work, and even through that, he's able to get some seriously good plays. It looks like Nerg is actually going to put the Parabola away, choosing to equip the Funchuck, and now also has a nade in tow, looking to potentially capitalize on that explosion. But right now, we're just going to stick with the Hydra and the Funchuck. Funchuck is a very exceptionally good arm at fighting back against medium weight and light arms, as you can just kind of curve that long, tall body to be able to sneak in and just block opponents down. It's got that good flinch and can lead into some really nice opportunities. Eric's starting off pretty strong here, utilizing the Funchuck just to safely block down a lot of these attacks, and is holding on to a mild lead. Jero getting a couple of good pokes in, starting to catch on to what Nerg is wanting to do, changing up his play just a little bit just to keep himself unpredictable. Another stun. That is going to connect. Nerg actually dashing right into the revolver. It's still not enough for Jero to be able to bring back that lead. And now that things are up close and personal, Nerg is just doing a much better job of chasing down and punching Jero in a lot of these attacks. Goes in for a bit of a cover shot, but the leap leaves Jero vulnerable, and they're going to be able to run away with the first round. Both players choosing to stick to these loadouts. Nerg has a rush advantage and is going to try to utilize it. Funchuck's tall body is going to allow them to safely block Jero out and lands a light 185 damage, starting themselves off with a lead. A stun, but nothing to be able to capitalize off of that shock, as Jero had to recover from that knockdown. Two more quick grabs, and Bark coming in clutch, saving Jero and opening up a grab counter of his own. That one exchange might be the tempo setter for Jero to be able to turn things around. Both players, again, ready with rush. Jero trying to bait something out, trying to find a nice opportunity just to kind of hold onto this tempo. But he's going to get caught up by this rush. 295 damage, and is now only a hit or two away from falling out. A safe evade and punish, and they're going to be able to finish things off 2-1. And with that, that means Nergigante going to be able to move on to face off against Jico in the semifinals. We also have Astro facing off against Doug in the winner's semifinals. How about we go over and look at that one? Doug moved on, taking Piper down 2-1. Chico 2-0ing Jack L. And Astro taking down Bunny Champ 2-0. Which leads us here. And then... and winner semifinals. Bam. Just keeping up with things. Yeah, everything should be good there. I'll punch in. Oh, they're entering the scores. So that should be set. Yeah. Which means that J-Ro will be facing off against Ninnam in the lower brackets. Piper already finished his match with Bunny Champ and will be moving on 2-0 to face off whoever gets knocked out in this match. And it looks like... So yeah, Astro, of course. A very well-known Dr. Coyle. Seen as one of the best players in NA. Let's see. Ben Temple, Mazo Buster, and DNA Lab. So we're going sparring. Cool. And I'm just gonna fix up this score here. Doug, a pretty popular Twintel, utilizes the Roaster, that Burchuck, and the Guardian. Guardian probably not going to see much use here as Dr. Quill is just so solid at slipping right out of the way of that shield and just finding some really safe pokes beyond. So we're definitely going to be seeing Doug going in with the Cool Rain. Ice Arms are generally a pretty solid play against Coil. A nice block to start things off. And definitely will help out Doug a little bit in this match. We'll have to see how much it really makes a difference though. Right now, both players relatively close to each other in terms of health. Doug just getting the lightest of leads. But all these chip hits, any straight blast could easily put Doug in a health deficit. Which means they'll have to keep this pressure up, try to get a little bit more damage on their end. Astro going to be ready with his rush. Doug ready with his own. The rush comes out. Safe block for Doug. Tries to go in for the grab read, but that shield's starting to look mighty weak. And you know Astro's looking to try to take advantage of that. Ends up missing out with the rush. But that's going to allow Doug to heal up those arms a little bit. Some pretty solid plays on Doug's end, but once that arm comes down, that means that it's going to be a very safe opportunity for Astro just to get a nice punish. Astro starting to just take more and more control over this, and he's going to be able to get that round with one final hit. going to be able to start this round with a nice grab. Sets himself up with a light lead in health and sees a nice opportunity to go in for the double roaster rush. 310 damage, and those gloves just beating down Astro, allowing Doug to hold on to a solid pressure lead. While it's not necessarily the easiest thing to be able to line up, the two gloves does allow Doug to have a better opportunity to punch through a lot of these light arms that Astro does have equipped. It means that he has a bit more opportunity to outbox Astro, but if he's not making the right calls, if Astro's playing smart, playing safe, doesn't matter what kind of gloves Doug has, they might not be able to keep up with Astro. Sees a nice opportunity to go for a rush, but Astro going to be able to safely slip out of the way, and again takes full control of this round. Now just looking for a nice rush opportunity, and is going to be able to take it. Just looking up on things, making sure things are going alright. And it looks like we're gonna go back to sparring, so no worries. Alright, back into things. Doug's gonna stick with the double roasters. Astro gonna end up missing this rush. Doug now ready with his, tries to see an opportunity and is able to capitalize. A nice 300 damage. Sets Doug up with a light lead. But now Astro going to just start throwing out these arms, building up rush as quick as possible. Try to put himself in a position where he can just bring things back. And Dr. Coil's one of those characters that generally can do pretty well at that. But those pummeling of fists on that shield, it's going to do some chip damage on Doug. But it also means that Doug's going to charge up a rush a little bit quicker. Astro does have that lead now, but has to be cognizant of Doug's rush. If that thing connects, it's definitely going to KO. And a nice block, a solid read on that. But he tries to go in for the punish. And now Doug holding on to a very light lead and is looking to just try to time things out. 1 second left, and Astro's grab just barely going to be able to reach in. Just the lightest of curves is going to allow Astro to be able to take that round. Doug now has to be able to take this round and just bring like a full reverse sweep if he wants to be able to take the set. But that's not going to be easy, especially when Astro's starting off with a strong 280 damage rush, keeping himself in a very hardy health lead. Doug not able to get any of those attacks to connect, and is slowly losing out on health. Astro now currently running on a perfect, and is just looking to hold out on it just a little bit longer. Only needs a couple more hits. One last strike will do it. Potential shield breaker could definitely happen too, and Doug is gonna desperately try to go in for that perfect shield to no avail. Astro will be now moving on to Grand Winter Finals. Doug gonna have to climb through the lower bracket to try to make his way Let's see, is Ninam there? I also need to set that up. Brackets. Because I forgot to do that again. This is a best of 5. This is a best of 5. Save. Alright. I don't know where Ninam is. We need a Ninam. Oh, right. That's what I was wanting to do. There. I've added a note for myself I will remember. Because it's important. Don't forget. You can do friendlies too while you wait. Hang on, we're just gonna do that while I start this. Yeah, it's been about 5 minutes. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna be going to Mausoleum. There we go. So we should be set. Perfect. The life of trying to be a streamer and event organizer and commentator all at once. All the buttons, all the power. And it looks like Nergigante is going to be going in with the Ice Dragon here, looking to try to utilize those Dragon cancels and those extra angles that the Ice Dragon can be, that Dr. Quill provides this arm. So far though, Chico starting off pretty strong, keeping himself at a light health lead, getting some really good pressure in place. And so far this loadout working out pretty well, likely wanting to test this out against Astro Ninja, as if Chico is able to take this, he'll have to face another Dr. Coil in the battlefield. solid block. Both players ready with rush. Just looking for a nice opportunity to dive in. Jiko's definitely would overpower Nergs if he finds that opportunity. You can tell Jiko's probably trying to look for that right now. But Nerg is slowly taking control of this round. Gets that set up. He's going to go in for the rush. Nerg dropping that shield. And the explosion going to lead into Jiko taking the first round. They're going to respond, switching over to double nade. And now this is pretty much practice against Astro for Jiko. If he wants to be able to move up and face off against Astro Ninja, he's going to need to be able to take down this Coil Madness, this nade blaster. This is not going to be an easy task. And they're definitely very comfortable and competent with Coil. Starting off pretty strong here, holding onto a light lead. Tries to go for another grab, but Jiko just doing a very solid job of just jumping over these little grab attempts and keeping himself nice and safe. Advantage starting to fall further into Nerg's end. A nice grab. Gonna just continue to deepen the health difference. Now Jiko would have to work through about 25% of Nerg's health to catch up. 45 seconds left on the clock, though definitely possible. But this is definitely one that those nades are in favor of. A safe block. Gonna go choose to respond to shield against Jiko's. And a response rush. 330 damage. Just deepens that wound. And they're just looking for that one final hit. That one final confirm. Jiko still has to go through 50% of that health. And he's not gonna have the chance to, as that grab connects and brings the score to 1-1. Players sticking with their loadouts. Nerg had a pretty solid start that last round, but this one's going to lean a little bit more in Jiko's favor. Two well-aimed toaster nades and a quick blast is just going to set Nerg into 50 or 75% health. A well-aimed grab, though, is going to be able to slip between Jiko's attacks. Gives Nerg an opportunity to start bringing things back into their favor. Players looking for an opportunity to go in for rush. Nergs technically would work out better with height advantage, and the nades coming out a little bit faster. Might be looking to try to box down Jiko's. But at this point, they might need to throw theirs out a little more aggressively, as Jiko has that solid health lead, and he's going to be able to safely block that down. Throws out his in response. He's going to be able to land 110 damage as Nerg tries to perfect shield back, but is locked against a wall, so those attacks are just going to cleanly connect. "25 seconds left on the clock. Both players trying to find their way in to connect some more damage. Nerg's rush just about ready, and that could easily put them at advantage. Jiko definitely has to be cautious of it, and does not want to get caught out by anything. 8 seconds left on the clock. The rush would be enough, but it's not going to be able to connect, and Jiko going to be able to take this round pretty much however he wants. And he's going to finish with shield chip damage on Nerg. Just oh, we didn't. Oh no, this is the match that's going on right now. Never mind. Let's see how things are going. Doug and Piper are doing friendlies right now as they wait for other players to catch up. Very nice. Very, very loving of them. helping each other out, chilling together, having some fun. That is the spirit of the Scrapstar. Play arms, enjoy life, good stuffs, yes. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be going to Sparring Ring for the next bout. This is going to work out a little bit better for Nerg, I could potentially see, as Jiko was definitely fine not worrying about corners or having to corner that Dr. Coil, but now Nerg might have a better opportunity to corner Jiko. Really take advantage of those nades. Alright, whenever these two are ready, we are set to go. They are making jokes and doing laughs. And it looks like we are set. Both players going to be sticking with their loadouts. Jiko actually going to switch that Burchuck over to the Hydra. Nerg also switching over to the Hydra here. And has that Fun Chuck ready, but it's not ready enough to be able to stop that nade as it quickly dives in and sets Jiko up with advantage. Starting things off, Jiko holding on to a light lead here, getting a couple on nice pokes and pressure. Nerg's not keeping up too well, trying to find a way in, but just lacking the consistency of those two nades is definitely showing right now, as Jiko is just starting to slowly deepening that lead more and more, getting better reads and plays until that Hydra connection. He's going to go for the rush, tries to read that movement, but they're going to be able to quickly dive out of the way. One of the few and probably essential saves that Nerg needs if they want to be able to take this round. So far, though, things are not looking in their favor, as Jiko just continuing to get these little pokes and jabs at this point. He's going to be able to take the round very comfortably. Jiko now looking for one more win to be able to take Nerg out, toss him into the lower bracket, and move on to face off against Astro Ninja in the winners finals. Nerg switching over to Double Roaster, putting on those gloves once again, looking to just try to pummel this clown down. But so far, it's not working out too well. This stage working a little more in Jiko's favor here, as he's definitely a lot more comfortable to move around in that center stage, closing the distance a little bit, and really capitalize on that Hydra. Nice rush. He's not going to be able to land too much damage beyond those two Hydra shots, but 195 is definitely nothing to sneeze at, as he just once again continues to build up that lead. A solid block is definitely coming right up there. And now Nerg has a huge hill to climb, has to take down about 50% of Jiko's health if they want to be able to put themselves in the lead. It is definitely possible, especially once those roasters start connecting properly. 280 damage later, almost going to land the grab to be able to confirm things. Now Jiko does have rush just about ready. I'd also say Nerg does as well. Quickly charging up just with a flurry of attacks, and going to be able to connect as they dive right in. Now just looking for one final hit to take Jiko out. Jiko slowly trying to close in that gap. Sees a moment, he's going to be able to connect. Again, the nade not going to be able to do its damage, but he's still holding on to that light lead. Looking to try to time things out. Nerg going to get knocked out by the Hydra. Jiko going to run away clean with a 2-0 and move on to face off against Astro Ninja. And if that was coil practice, then this is definitely going to be good for Jiko. As now he's running in fresh off of the memory of what he needs to do to fight off against coils. You'll have to see how he's able to respond to it, though, as Astro is definitely a very, very talented coil, and this is not going to be easy for him to fight back in. I love that they're having friendlies right now. And yeah, that should set things up. J-Ro's still locked into combat with Jack L. Where would this put Merrick? Oh, up against Piper, I think. Yeah. It looks like we're going to be going to Buster Beach for this next bout. Set up this score. And BM. Astro actually going to kind of go in with a somewhat similar loadout. Even has the Fun Chuck, but he's going to go in starting off with Double Nade. Definitely one of the better setups to play against Lollipop. Jiko also picking a good counter for Dr. Coil, which, again, is Double Nade. Double Nade seems to be a really good arm for a lot of reasons. And a lot of that comes into because of that lack of homing and the fact that Nade has one of the largest curves in this game, which means it's able to get angles that pretty much no other arm can get, allowing players to be able to aim precisely at who they're looking for with very little difficulty. It also has some of the highest damage with a charged hit landing for 150 on a standing opponent, and on an aerial one, 120 damage. Nade also is a very solid rush confirm tool. If you can get a quick blast and your opponent is too launched higher into the air, you can definitely capitalize on that and follow up with a rush that your opponent might not be ready to evade, or not able to evade even. So definitely a lot of advantages to utilizing the nade. It looks like Jiko's going to switch over to the Hydra, try to have another attack, something that covers a little bit more of Astro's vertical movement. Starting things off, both players very close, very even to each other, neither really giving too much leeway. That rush not going to be able to connect, and because of that, Astro just sees that one quick opportunity, and he's going to go in for a full connection on his rush, cementing himself a hearty health lead. Astro thinks he's got another rush opportunity, gonna throw it out, but it's only gonna be shield chip damage. Jiko now vulnerable to a shield break, but I don't think he's gonna need to worry about that. Instead, he's gonna have to worry about leaving himself nice and open to that grab. Now Astro just looking for a final hit, and he's gonna be able to get a nade to safely connect to Jiko, putting him in round or match advantage, set advantage. Astro definitely looking to take first place and claim some extra fancy skins for himself to utilize. As first place gets the loot box, has a lot of very nice little lovelies costume pieces for your avatar. I'm actually gonna talk to my contact. I have a contact. That's cool. But I'm gonna contact them. I'm gonna see if rather than giving like all the loot boxes to first place, maybe give like 4 or 3 to first place, and then have like 1 or 2 of them like randomly doled out to one of the various participants. That would be cool. Jiko actually gonna go in for quite the drastic loadout change, setting himself up with a buff. Or a bub. No, that's a buff. Alongside with the Tri-Blast, and he's gonna stick with that Burchuck. Starting things off though, Astro gonna be able to quickly overwhelm that light arm and sets himself up with a light health lead. Jiko utilizing his impeccable movement, just safely and deftly dodging between these attacks. He's gonna be able to start getting a couple of pokes and his safe shield, charging up that rush a little bit more, only taking a little bit of shield chip damage in exchange. Does also have a shield breaker rush, so if he can get this to connect, it could definitely take Astro's shield down. But the hard part is making it actually connect. If you whiff, that is just going to be some safe opportunities for Astro to get more damage. Astro's slowly building a further and further lead. More advantage. He's not going to be able to land this rush Jiko safely, bringing out the shield. Poking with the Tri-Blast, definitely the best pick in that situation. And is quickly building up another rush to get ready. But he's at critical. Astro's still just a bit below 75% health. Definitely in a very cozy position, as he's going to get another rush ready and ends up just catching Jiko as he super dashes right into his arms. Astro's starting off just with an opening pineapple grab. Jiko was not even close to ready for that. And he's going to take a nice 150 damage, setting Astro up with some good tempo, but he's going to have it taken away by a rush and that grab response, catching on to Astro's attempt at another grab. Sees a nice opportunity to go in for the rush, but that's just going to be shield chip damage. Jiko building up more rush off of that. Still holding on to a very late lead here. He's definitely wanting to try to keep that or build it up again. If he can find a way to scare Astro into a corner, this definitely could be a really good rush. And he's going to be able to make a connect following Astro's movement. Throws out the punch and a safe rush. Now just looking for one final hit to take this ninja down. Astro does have his rush ready, and he's going to choose it to go utilize for that deflect. But because of that, that means he's not going to be able to connect with Jiko there. But he only needs one hit at this point, as he's going to quickly land a couple of strong connections with those charge nades. And one more cements himself with a second point. Even having to utilize that rush just to prevent Jiko from taking the set, he still was able to bring things back, just walling Jiko out with a barrage of nade blasts. It looks like Jiko is going to be taking this. He needs to be able to pick the right stage to help him out, so that he can kind of counter out Astro's playstyle as tactics. Lots of thinking is happening currently. the thinking is going to lead us to... A quick update, J-Ro was able to beat Jack L down 2-0 and will be moving on to face off against Doug. Neg is currently in battle with Pied Piper, who we'll have to see is able to... Who of those two will be able to progress to the lower semifinals. Astro is just too fast at trying to start a match. Like, I have to be ready to, like, pop up the block. Make sure that nobody is allowed to commence battle until I says so. We might be able to stream the lower semifinals match too, which would be exciting. Because that means we get more other players. More peoples to be on camera. And I like the peoples on camera. Looks like both sides are going to be sticking with their loadouts. Astro's just been sticking with the double nade. And he doesn't have much reason to drop it. It causes a lot of pressure, a lot of coverage. Those explosions allow for a lot more combos and some really good pressure against his opponents. Lilipop's also one of the more difficult characters to land perfect shields on explosion with. And you can see it because Jico has not gone for a single one this set. That rush going to be able to come out safely, 300 damage. And Astro starting with a very solid lead. Sees a nice opportunity. Jico not going to be able to connect though, as Astro going to be able to safely adjust his aim, change his course like mid-sentence, and is safely able to adjust himself into a position where he's only going to take some shield chip damage. And he's now just looking for a little bit more to lead into the KO. Sees a chance, goes for the rush, but Jico going to safely block it out. Astro probably pretty confident that he'll be able to charge up another rush if he needs to be able to throw it out to fight back against Jico. Or Jico's probably going to have to rely on this one rush. His Dr. Coil's movement and ability to charge is second to none in most cases, as she's able to build up charge the same way to Mechanica, but she also gets that third arm to line things up a little bit better. Jico tries to go in for the rush, but it's going to have a very clean whiff. Now Astro going to be closing out with rush advantage. Jico without any ability. He's going to take that grab. Astro now on match point, just looking for one more win, one more opportunity to take Jico out. And he's definitely going to be starting off pretty strong as he's got that rush ready. Safely blocks that explosion. But because of that, Jico going to have a very safe opportunity to shield himself. Even though he was pretty low to start off with, Jico actually does have his rush ready. And again, that is a shield breaker. He can just go for it. And because of that, Astro fearing it out is actually going to choose to take, ends up taking the full 300 instead. Trying to go in for these curvy grabs. None of them going to be able to connect. Jico going to be able to safely sidestep out of the way of that rush. Keeps himself just ever so slightly in that health lead. And gives himself a little bit more time to try to build up another rush against Astro's barrage of blasts. Astro quickly building up a lead again now. And he has that rush just about ready. Jico now has to be cautious of it. Has yet to get his own rush set up and ready. That's going to be a safe block. Ends up walking straight into that. Not taking the final finishing touch, which is very important, as that's another 100 damage that would be on his health pool right now. Can take maybe one more hit because of that, but he has to get the right... It has to be like an uncharged hit. That's about it. That's going to be a safe block, but definitely a shield breaker. Jico now just looking for one opportunity. He has that lead. He's got to just run back. And he's going to be able to take the round. Jico now This is still match point. Chico has to be able to stop Astro here. Start bringing himself to a potential comeback. But this coil is going to start off very strong with a 300 damage rush and just puts Astro, again, at a phenomenal health lead. Chico having to bring himself back, get a couple of good plays here. He does have that rush just about ready. Definitely wants to go in for it. That's going to be a safe block for Astro. Not even going to choose to go for any chip hits there. Another rush coming out, but Chico going to be able to safely block it. Tries to go for the punish. Leaves himself open for Astro to be able to reach in. Gets 180 damage. Now 50% of Chico's health is gone. And has only just about got to 75% of Astro's health. Tries to leap right over. He's not able to line up his shots. Now Chico, on his last legs, cannot take any hits beyond, like, shield. But his shield's gonna end up breaking down. That means Astro moving with a 3-clean-0. Mr. Clean's 3-0. And we'll be moving on to Grand Finals. Chico now knocked into the lower final bracket. I'm going to take a moment to go to the washroom. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Oh. That one. There we go. Perfect. So it's been a pretty solid day. I ended up waking up doing some... Oh, that's a sub. Hi! 15 months! Much love, many thank. Thank for support. How are you doing, love? Looks like those two are still at it, and the other two are also still at it. So we don't have any match to stream right now. If anybody was interested, I could do a quick friendly with somebody. This would be the code right here on the screen. If you're interested in participating, enter that code in. And I'll do a quick match or two with people. Just took a 2-hour nap. That sounds very good. Naps are definitely very important and beneficial. I still can't get over it. I find it so entertaining and amazing. Like, what was it, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Ash Ketchum ended up winning Pokemon League for like the first time ever. I want to watch that episode. It's probably like a really good episode or two. And then, of course, on the same day, ESAM ends up winning an S tier event. Or I think people are saying it's an A tier now, but I'd say it's an S tier. It was an S tier when they started, it's an S tier when it ends. But yeah, I love it. Pikachu's reign supreme for a day. Also, huge shout out to ESAM for being able to do that. That is, like, incredible. And definitely not an easy feat to do, especially with Pikachu. Pikachu's definitely a pretty solid character, but takes a lot of time to be able to practice and learn. Definitely not as safe as Pichu with all the dodging and sneakiness. Oh, those two looks like they're still going. Dang. But yeah, huge shout outs to Ash Ketchum for winning his first major. And huge shout out to ESAM for also winning his first major. Can do this for now. Nobody interested in friendlies. You found three shiny Pokemon during the challenge run of Let's Go Eevee. Nice! Which Pokemons did you get? Which new friends did you make? On the note of new friends, I actually have a couple of marathons that I have coming up. Speedrunning marathons specifically. Because while it's very rare to see me speedrun games these days, I do want to get back into it in a couple of them. It's still a very near and dear place in my heart. And if I have a good opportunity to, I'm definitely going to go for it. So, there's actually, of course there's Speedy Fist, that's coming up again. I've ran on their charity events twice now. First time was alright, second time was a little awkward, lots of hiccups along the way, but it seemed to work out okay enough. And this one, hopefully going to be pretty solid. We'll have to see. And then the other thing that I actually have coming up is I'm going to be participating in what's known as Slurpathon, which is apparently a speedrunning marathon that happens within my province, which means that I only have to take an easy trip to head over to someplace, and then I do speedruns with other people's. I'm very nervous about meeting a bunch of those people because I've never really met any of them before, and I'm kind of not part of the speedrunning scene anymore, so I'm just kind of some random outsider who's it. Will be fun though. I'm looking forward to it, no matter what happens. What's the girth? What's the size difference between these two? I know it. Chakram's like a little bit bigger when it's charged. Yeah, it reaches a little bit longer. They have pretty much the same arc. But you can just see, like, it reaches a little bit higher. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit bigger. I think Chakram's actually faster. Yeah, Chakram is faster. Interesting. Ram's only really good for the slight additional damage and instant knockdown. Otherwise, Chakram's good. Alright, let's see. It's just screaming coming from Pied Piper. I love it. We have... Some of these people are like the most adorableness. Yo, it looks like Jero was able to take Doug down 2-1 in a very close and intense match, and will be moving on to face off against either Neg or Piper. Piperante. I think I talked about this a little bit ago, but one of the top Smash players in my province is actually like really interested in ARMS, and he's really enjoying Max Brass. So I'm really excited because I'll have a brass main in my pools. I'll have a Dr. Coil and a brass. Alberta Arms is turning into mini STL. Except instead of Hanukkah Jamboree leading it, it is Maliv. Maliv Jamboree. Let's go. I'm the new Hanukkah. It is I, Hanukkah. Malivika. Hang on. Oh yeah, I can get the name this way. And it looks like Pied Piper will be moving on to face off against J-Ro. You'd fight, but you don't want to ruin your Mr. Mime combo. That is perfectly acceptable. I can understand fully why you might feel that way. Alright, so it looks like Nag is actually going to be in, not Pied Piper. Cool. Nag taking Piper down 2-1, and will be moving on into the lower semifinals to face off against J-Ro. Hey! Top 6 seeded players are all making it safely to top 6. Where did 8 go? Oh, Ninnam. And they ended up dropping out. Okay, we need our players to step into the ring so that we can have the brackets and the fightings happen. There you are. And yeah, it looks like this is a rematch. Jiko was able to take Nargigante down 2-0 before in some very close matches. We're gonna have to see if that's gonna be the case here. There's also a bug that's very attracted to my light that's meant to just give me nice lighting. But now it's bugging me. Haha. Let's do... Copy link. Where's the door? What door? I don't get it. It was for your bug pun. I see. Bam. They didn't do this, pick the stage. They're just like itching to fight, but they need to pick a stage. Go away, bug. There's also dust on my light. I should probably clear that off. And we'll also add in... There. Okay. Just getting things rolling, getting things set. We're back. It's time to finish off the Scrapstar. We've had a nice moment of chill and relax. And it looks like we're probably going to be going to DNA Lab or Temple Grounds. I'm suspecting Temple. Wait. Oh yeah, this is also Buster Beach technically. So, it's Spartan Temple, okay. So we're probably going to be going to Buster Beach then. Haha! Merv is smart. I am aware, and we are ready. Both players ready, stepping into the ring, and we are going to have ourselves a rematch. Next, stepping into face off against J-Ro. And you're going to see J-Ro immediately putting on that same loadout that gave him the match win in their previous bout. It looks like he's looking to try to utilize it yet again. Nerk's definitely still struggling to try to play around this, as J-Ro just getting some good pressure at this long range, getting some really nice pokes, and just working easily around this Parabola and Hydra. J-Ro ready with a rush, actually before this Dr. Coil, and he's gonna throw it out, and it connects. Not gonna be able to get the Chilla to do much at that range, but 185 off of the revolver is definitely very rewarding. A quick bark bump, and that's going to interrupt Nerk's movement a little bit. Going to be able to throw out the rush, still connects for a 365. Still has a little bit of work to go, but those two hits off of the Parabola going to be enough to set Nerk at a very light health lead. J-Ro trying to build up another rush, set himself up with a potential KO confirmed. Nerk slowly setting up a deeper and deeper health lead, and has a rush just about ready of their own. Doesn't even need it though. A 1-2 from the Parabola is going to be enough. And sets them up with round advantage. Both players now ready with Rush. J-Rose would probably box down Nerg, so Nerg definitely wants to be careful about throwing theirs out. J-Rose might just throw his out a bit earlier regardless, as he tends to be the initiator on a lot of these exchanges, where Nerg kind of just trying to sit back and find a way in. This Parabola starting to work a little bit better against J-Rose, finding better opportunities to start positioning it, get some more damage out of them, and now Nerg holding on to a somewhat comfortable lead. J-Rose can find a great opportunity with this rush though. He's not gonna be able to throw out the Chilla fast enough. That means Nerg gonna be able to take away his rush, and now he's running with about a 50% health lead. That lead deepening further as the Hydra gonna be able to connect yet again. That 3-pronged fire, able to just cover so much ground. Each shot counts as its own entity. So unlike the Biffler, you can try to stop one, but you still have 2 others that you need to be able to stop. There's a nice rush. J-Rose gonna be able to connect 315 damage, sets himself up with a light lead. But he has to be cautious of this rush. He's gonna be able to take it away with the revolver. But both players still pretty neck and neck on their health. They're going to be able to connect with the Parabola last second. And a wide grab from J-Rose is going to be enough. Keep balances out that score. This first round is still anyone's game. Heading into this next round, both players going to be continuing to stick with these loadouts. Nerg again, starting with that light lead, getting a bit of an advantage with some of these pokes that freeze. J-Rose not going to try to bait anything out, just not far enough to be able to get a successful grab attempt or setup that might force that rush out. J-Rose still ready with his rush. Probably, again, going to try to find a nice opportunity to throw that punch out. He's not going to be able to get much beyond some light chip damage, but now he's got an opportunity to build up that rush again. He's got to be cautious of this rush, especially with Nerg just holding onto a solid health lead. Doesn't really need to play too riskily, but they roll forwards, and that's going to leave them nice and open to a wide grab as they walk straight into it. They're trying to close in that distance, set up some kind of confirm, lands the Hydra, and is able to follow up with the Parabola. J-Rose now in critical health, can only take any light hit from either of these arms. J-Rose gonna start getting some tempo, gets the stun, gets the freeze. Now he's at that final hit, but if J-Rose rush connects fully, that would be enough to KO, and he's gonna go for it! Lands that finishing touch. I think it's Nerg's lead right now. And it's going to be Nerg's game, as that one final touch is going to be able to connect from the Parabola. And sets them up with advantage. J-Rose is very beautiful, this is true. Pidgeotto ruining your catch combo? That is a very, very mean bird. Pidgeotto is confirmed as F tier bird quality. Such mean. Don't forget, for anybody who's looking for more interaction, more things to do, you can always shift your gender. That's... huh. Or you can always look at the myriad of quotes that we have on this channel. I'm just gonna... carry on from here and move on to our next match, which is gonna be in Buster Beach. Y'all like Buster Beach, right? It's a good stage. My phone's starting to give me more notifications about Pokemon Go again. Giving me lots of candy because of all the walking I'm doing. It's telling me about like, oh hey, don't forget cool events coming up. I'm like, I'm kind of interested, but I also don't have my Pokewalker because I lost that back at Smash and Splash. So I don't have that. And I don't feel like playing Pokemon Go right now anyways. I'll invest in a new Pokemon Go Plus. Maybe when it's also a creepy sleep tracker. Gen 5 though. Honestly, Gen 5 is the generation that I have the least interest in. It was the one that's really when I started just kind of missing out on, like, consciously choosing to skip out on Pokemon and recognizing that, or starting to have burnout like every other generation. It's definitely a cool gen, it's just not my gen. And this round right now, definitely not next round, as J-Ro holding on to a solid lead, getting some really nice pokes and pressure. And is currently holding on to a fairly decent 25% health lead, just patiently spreading out those shots, throwing out barrage of bolts after bolt, and just continue to try to deal damage and put Nerg in a disadvantaged state. "25 seconds left on the clock. Neither player has yet to utilize their rush. Both playing at a very defensive, long-distance game. Trying to just not close in at all. That rush is going to connect, but ends up missing out with the Parabola. Gets 260 damage, but even then, J-Ro just needs to go for chip damage at this point. Now he can't, because he chose to not go for a rush. And that's not going to be enough here. J-Ro needed to go for that rush just a little bit sooner. If he would have, that round definitely would have been his, but they're able to find a nice opportunity to go in for that grab. And that's going to allow them to take the round and sets himself up in motion to be able to advance to the lower semifinals. This round again, starting off pretty well for J-Ro though. He's getting a couple of nice pokes, staying nice and patient and calm. Trying to stay focused on what exactly he needs to do against this Dr. Coil. And so far, just steadily getting these 1-2 hits, this light pressure. And just a lot of general shield chip hits. That's going to be a pretty solid, a safe rush. 375 damage. They're quickly balancing out the health pool with just one solid rush. J-Ro trying to be really patient here. Sees the moment. He's going to be able to connect with the revolver. 210 damage. Nerg about ready with another rush here. J-Ro's going to have to be cautious of it. He's going to get stunned out too. And the rush comes out. He's going to be able to dodge it only a couple of times and ends up eating 325 damage. So determined for that punish that it's going to leave him completely open. And they're going to be able to take him down 2-0. And we'll be moving on. Gaddy, Chapter 9 is not healthy for you. It's a bad dream. Wake up. Don't sleep! Also, D3, why are you having bad luck too? Much sadness to be had. Ooh, you're getting better? Nice. I'm cheering you on, love. Here's a couple of burbs that you find, and they are burbs. Because you found a shiny you didn't have. I mean, I guess that technically works. Oh, I know it was Jiko who took J-Ro down, or Jiko who took Neg down 2-1. J-Ro ended up losing 1-2 to Neg. So that's 2 losses against that. That's an unfortunate story. Now to hunt for 3 Eevees. Get all the Eevees. Alright, looks like we got J-Ro out, helped out of the brackets. Thank you very much for participating. Have to take another shot at it next week. Hopefully we have more prizes for the participants. That would be cool. Oh, I just saw something crazy. Okay. So, hear me out on this. So, S stands for Square Enix. Well, this is about the Smash reveal. So, we've got Square Enix, Microsoft, Atlas, and SNK. All of those, when lined up, not in any specific, like, if you jumble them up together, you can spell the word smash, which means that there's one letter left, which is the H. Does this mean we might be the last company that might be making a game starts with an H, which means Hudson, maybe. We'll be getting Hudson. I saw they threw a picture of Bomberman in there. It's like, we're getting Bomberman. That would actually be kind of hype. I'm not going to believe it, but it would also be entertaining and a fun idea. Looks like everything is set up. I'll just make sure the score's all ready. Looks like Ned gonna be starting off with the Tri-Blast Coolerang. Jiko gonna be going in with the Hydro Toaster. Just definitely trying out another strategy, another playstyle It might be able to help him out a little bit against Astro. So far, it's not working out too well against Neg either. Neg. As Neg is holding on to a light lead and is going to be able to take Jiko's rush away with that third arm just reaching out. Jiko not ready to work around that or try to punish it. Jiko again getting frozen. This cooler range is causing him a lot of trouble right now. Oh wait, Hell, yeah! Hell maybe. Humongous Entertainment. Pajama Samurai Smash! Let's go! Yo, I'd be down for that. Jiko closing in the distance. 10 seconds left. It's very unlikely he's going to be able to take this. At this point, Neg just going to take those grabs right now because that's better than any potential rush combo or something that could spontaneously turn things around. They're going to be sticking with their loadout. Jiko definitely wanting to stick with his right now. Is going to keep rocking with that Toaster Hydra. Looking to try to utilize that a little bit of that homing and the Hydra shots just to have a bit more coverage. A charged Toaster connection. Jiko going to be able to set himself up with a light lead here because of that. But still has to be cautious, has to be aware of that cooler rain as it sneaks around. Almost gets another freeze, but it's just going to be that straight blast. Again, they're trying to play that distance safe game. And Jiko's starting to get a little more comfortable remembering what he generally wants to do in these spaced out games. With a lot more room for breathing. He doesn't have to worry about being cornered. And he's definitely going to try to capitalize on that. Those explosions slowly bringing Nerg, though, into advantage. Tries to go for the perfect shield rush combo, but he's not going to be able to land it. And ends up getting saved by that Tri-Blast. 25 seconds left on the clock. Jiko still needs a little bit more damage to be able to bring himself into a lead. Has to be really careful of these attacks. If he can get a rush ready, definitely would be able to take this in his advantage. But that Hydra is going to do just enough work. Now he's just got to patiently try to box down these attacks. I don't even think he wants to utilize the rush. He doesn't need to. Off of that, that freeze is not going to be enough, and Jiko going to be able to hold on to the rush. Jiko starting off with advantage, getting 2 uncharged Hydra hits to hit, which, humorous enough, a charged Hydra would do 110 damage consistently, but an uncharged Hydra has the capabilities of doing more damage just with good aim and right positioning, which is, I honestly kind of find it kind of entertaining, which makes it one of the few arms that arguably is better uncharged. Depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for that guaranteed knockback, or if you're looking for just a bit more damage, Hydra definitely has your back with some nice nice opportunities, a lot of good chances to really make things work. Sees a nice moment for Rush. He's going to be able to land 350. And he's now just looking to take down about 25% of Neg's health. Neg still has to go through 50% of Jiko's, which means that the Rush is probably going to be that main option. Jiko slowly building up another rush, and he's going to be able to safely block this one down. Not going to go for the perfect shield attempt there. One of Lola's more difficult tricks, but if she can get it to connect, definitely is able to get some really good plays out of it. And Jiko going to start off with the first set in advantage. Looking to take 2 more to be able to move on and get a rematch. Against Astro. Definitely not an exciting place for Chico. I know Coil's generally a pretty rough matchup for most characters, Lola especially. And he has to get through 2 of them to be able to move ahead. And it looks like we're going to be heading to Sparring for the next match. Yeah, this is definitely not an easy match for Nerg, but this is definitely not the easiest match for Jico either, so both players really just trying to do their best. Come in with the right strategies and plans. Accuracy is a rough thing. Like, a lot of people will look at it and be like, oh, my accuracy is low. Why am I so bad at this game? It's important to keep in mind, though, your opponent's doing their best to make sure you're not hitting them. Your opponent is not an AI. They are other people who plan to do dodging and evading and sneaks. And it looks like Nerg is going to go in with Lollipop. Trying to go in for the Ditto Mirror matchup. Actually choosing to try to play out Twin 5-0 style right here. Going in with literal loadout and everything. Definitely a shining reflection of Twin 5-0 right now. We'll have to see if the playstyle is able to keep up with this. This is a loadout that's been popularized by Twin 5-0 of Gaming Illusion. It has that Biffler and Ice Dragon. It gives, and coupled with Lollipop's solid movement and options, it allows you to be a really difficult target to catch with great spacing abilities and some quick grabs so you can quickly distance yourself from your opponent if you need to. That's going to be a safe opportunity for Jico to go for the rush. He's not able to line up those shots though. And now Nerg ready with a rush of their own. Just looking for an opportunity to leap in. That Biffler mark definitely going to help out. But Jico with a good read is able to sneak right out of the way. And he's going to be able to punish with the grab. Jico quickly building up another rush. Has it all set and ready. This Lollipop not keeping up with Jico's right now. Definitely Jico has the answer and playstyle he needs to be able to beat through this Lola. Rush comes out. It's going to be able to connect. 340 damage hit. Puts Neg just at the slightest of leads. But now Jico's just looking for that opportunity. And he's going to be able to find it. 345 damage. And this round is all but his. Oh, those 2 hits is not going to be enough. Nerg needed to go for the grab there. Chose not to. And the Ice Chain allowed for some tempo, but not enough. Just a little too late. Gonna try to start with a pineapple grab. It's not going to connect on Jico though. He's going to quickly step out of the way. Jiko doing a very solid job of just keeping up this footwork, making sure that he's always on the move. His opponent's always trying to guess where he wants to go. And Jiko just continuing to stay a difficult target to connect with. Which is definitely making a big difference in the fact that for this match. As otherwise, Nick probably would have a much easier time catching him. Quick bap with the toaster, just continues to hold that health lead. Any solid block, recognizing that Ice Dragon about to come out. Nice dodge, but it's not going to be enough. He ends up getting caught out. Manages to land 150 damage regardless. Nair still relatively close, but not close enough. Still needs a little bit more work. A rush could definitely be it. Or that 1-2 hit. Does have a rush slowly coming up. Should be ready before the end of this round. That timer still has 20 seconds left on it. Both players ready with rush. And Jiko gonna safely block. Goes for his, and he's gonna be able to connect 270 damage. 13 seconds left on the clock. It's still anybody's game, and it's going to be Jiko's as he finds that one final hit and sets himself up with 2-0 advantage. It looks like we're going to be going to Buster Beach for what might be the final match. Looks like... yeah. Buster Beach might be the last one. If Jiko is able to take Nerg down here, you'll be moving on to face off against Astro. Nerg can make this stage work for them. They might be able to start turning things a little bit more in their favor. Choosing to stick with the Lollipop here. Why is Lollipop such a popular character? Why is Lola so popular in the meta? Like, I don't understand why. Like, I can make some connections and be like, oh, she's a fun character, people like her, yada yada yada. But like... why is she such a popular pick in the ARMS NA meta? Like how Ribbon Girl is like a character everybody plays to some degree in the EU scene. Lollipop is very much that in NA. Narek started off pretty strong, getting a couple of nice ice chains. And some solid damage, another freeze. Trying to find a way in. Jiko but just patiently trying to dodge between these shots, but he's constantly getting frozen down. Narek doing a really solid job of just getting these great angles, and that's going to lead to a beautiful opportunity. Throws out the Biffler. And Jiko going to lose that first round pretty handedly. People love clown girls. I thought North America despised clown girls. They're starting off this round too with a slight advantage, but it's not going to hold out very long as Jiko quickly catches in with a charged toaster and keeps that health pool even. Both players ready with rush. Narek's season is able to safely dodge out of that way of the rush, something that could have been a very painful one. Tries to set up for a confirm of their own, but Jiko going to be able to quickly bap them down. There's a nice opportunity. They're going to land 340 damage plus that 20 juggle. Now Jiko has to find a way in, sneak around that Ice Dragon. He's got to fight through a pretty solid health deficit. That Biffler just continuing to poke Jiko down, continuing to deepen this health deficit. But Nerg is in the hot pocket right now, and Jiko does have a solid position to be able to pressure Nerg out. But the rush is going to come in, catching that grab attempt. And that's going to allow Nerg to bring the score to 1-2. That's what Yabuki thought. Somebody told Yabuki that NA despises clowns, and then NA just decides that they're gonna do the opposite. What better way to fight your fear than to embrace and become your fear? And it looks like we're going to be going to Via Dolce for our next match. And now we are going to a candy-coated city, Via Dolce, with the Lola Mirror matchup. Jiko slipping on that bird chuck, putting it back on... Actually, no, I think he's had it the whole time. But he is going to use it now. I have pointed it out, and Jiko's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Even though he probably can't hear me at all. But definitely, it's a solid pick. It's really good with Lollipop's movement, as it's very easy for him to mix between just that large body or the more vertical and faster climbing version. And so far, Jiko's going to be able to use it pretty effectively to get some good pokes, find his way in, and starting with a light health lead, gets a freeze in. He's not going to be able to get that combo though, as that Biffler quickly pushing him back. Sees a nice opportunity off of that Biffler. It's not going to be able to connect though. Nerg going to be able to safely evade, gets that shield out, and is now trying to close in the distance on Jiko. Get that rush ready. Just looking for a nice confirm. Jiko trying to dodge out of the way of these attacks, not getting too invested just so he can make sure he has a chance to dodge this rush whenever it happens. Out comes the rush, but he's not going to be able to parry it or block it, and ends up getting knocked into critical. Has to start playing a little more aggressively here with 15 seconds left on the clock. He needs a full rush connection. And Nerg just a little too anxious there, ends up throwing out the grab, tries to catch Jiko out, and now just a few seconds left on the clock. He's just going to choose to shield, and timer ticks down. Jiko did not bring the shield out and ends up getting caught by the Ice Dragon thinking he was okay. He wasn't. You can't forget the Ice Dragon will continue. It has an extended laser that will just continue to travel. Jiko switching that toaster over for the Hydra. Now it's kind of a pretty similar loadout here. Light variations with the Burchuck and the Ice Dragon. Jiko's definitely a little bit stronger rush-wise, But that Ice Dragon just so good at a distance game. Really good in neutral. He's gonna end up being able to safely dodge out of the way. Jiko just, again, a little too far out of the way to be able to make it fully connect. Jiko still holding on to a light lead. Is gonna be able to create a bit bigger of a gap. Landing a solid read on that wake up. Gets a little bit more damage. Is just slowly trying to build up that rush. Another freeze though. And he's gonna try to punch through and ends up extending that ice chain. But now he can start ice chain of his own. Not going to be able to follow up too strong off of it for fear of that rush. He's not going to take too much damage off of it though. Just too far away for the Ice Dragon to really connect. Jiko gonna try to leap in, set himself up with a rush, but that's gonna only leave Nig open to getting a rush of their own. Few seconds left on the clock. And that final hit is going to confirm Jiko the round. And now we are on match point. If Jiko's able to take this, he will be moving on to face off against Astro. Nick quickly diving straight in, trying to take control of that center ground, that neutral platform. Make sure that Jiko has as little breathing space as possible. Even in this distant game, there is still a bit of exchange pushing one side back or the other way. A nice block with the Burchuck. Just with that large body, able to safely block down any Biffler shots and the Ice Dragon in conjunction if Nerg is not able to position them right. Nerg holding on to a light lead here, looking to try to keep things under control. Jiko continuing to play at a very distant game, and with it, right now this loadout is not working out as well as that Biffler Ice Dragon, but a good rush will balance out the lead. And Jiko going to be able to land that freeze, doesn't choose to go for the grab, just wants some light shield chip damage. And is just focused on staying calm, staying aware of what Nair is wanting to throw out. Jiko just slowly building himself up another rush, trying to get it ready as soon as possible. Just continuing to throw out just a light barrage of attacks. He's going to be able to safely break out of that blind. And now has his rush ready. He's just going to choose to go for it. And Nair tries to punish, but Jiko's is just that much bigger, that much faster, that much stronger. And that's going to be it. Jiko will win 3-1. To move on to face off against Astro Ninja. I just realized there's an additional button that makes things even easier for me. With that, we will be moving into the grand finals. Jiko stepping in for his rematch against Astro Ninja. I love all these theories going around. Everybody's like so hype about theories, but also so like angry about Smash theories. They're like, no, it can't be this character. It has to be this character. It's like really weird because it's equally like really fun, but it's kind of stressful with how just like violently angry some people can be. And then when you find those moments, or like when we finally find out who's actually like the character, like people get angry. Like they get really weirdly angry over it. Like I don't know, I get it. Terry isn't a Nintendo character. Cool. Great. But he's a cool character, and it is also really cool that he's in Smash. And it also, like, strengthens the bond between the FGC and Smash. Jiko's very good. Did I just see thunder? I saw a flash of lightning or something. Looks like we're going to be going to Mausoleum for a Grand Finals match. Smash fans expecting it to be a professional fighting game. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's kind of the point a lot of people have made, where it's like, well, they want to be a part of the FGC and seen as part, like, of the fighting game community. But then they run so many events where they push against a lot of the FGC. Like, Chance of Flurries is one of the exceptions to that rule. And that's because I put a lot of effort into making sure Smash and the FGC work alongside each other. But, like, there's a lot of cases where they will just kind of butt heads because Smash wants to be treated special but also equal to the FGC. And then, like, they get Terry, which most of the, like, Soul Calibur got somebody from Street Fighter or so on and so forth. Like, they're usually pretty excited about it. And then you get Smash and they're like, who is this garbage character? And you're like, okay then. Like, I can understand people being uninformed and, like, confused. But, like, the problem... And it was kind of a problem I had with a scene that I worked with and tried to develop some time ago. Where the big issue was the fact that they didn't understand the ARM... Like, what ARMS was and how it kind of plays and works. But from interactions that I heard of beyond my interactions... Like, their confusion and misunderstanding, rather than it being one of those cases where it's like, oh, I don't get it, could you explain it to me, or I'm not interested, it's probably okay, but that's fine. They instead decided to be, like, really angry and violent about it. Crab dances, let's go! But, like, it's unfortunate that a lot of communities feel the need to, rather than be like, oh, I don't understand what this is like, I'll ask somebody and try to figure out what's going on here, and instead be like, who is this character I don't understand? Everything is ruined. It wasn't Pikachu. It wasn't Waddle Dee. Because Waddle Dee is the most needed character. Waddle Dee would do more for the Smash scene and fighting game community as a whole than Terry ever would. Confirmed. And just like... It's a weird... It's really weird Oh, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't say ARMS is like a part of the FGC right now. There's definitely efforts to try to do that. At least on my end, I'm trying to become a little more connected with them and work with them. I'm good friends with the entire Red Deer fighting game community, which is cool. I like that. Yeah, there's thunder. Thunder and lightning. My window's open, so you might hear some. If there's a loud enough crack. It feels weird talking about it like this way. Like, Smash and ARMS are on the same console. We're siblings. Yeah, I'm sitting here being like, oh, the Smash scene, yada yada yada. We're so much better than the Smash scene. Oh, ho, 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 ho. It's really interesting and really strange. Heading into back into the Grand Finals match that I wasn't commentating for whatever reason, Astro was able to take the first set, currently at advantage, and Jico's going to be taking us to sparring ring for the next bout. Astro starting off with a pretty strong lead, some strong advantage and control, goes in for another really solid grab, and is now just looking for a little bit more damage to lead into that KO. Anticipating Jico goes for the punch, but he ends up choosing to go for the grab instead, pressing Astro back, giving him a lot more breathing space, but he still has 75% of Astro's health he has to work through, which is by no means an easy task. Rush comes out, it's not going to connect this time. And Jico going to continue to try to slip his way in, find a couple more opportunities to get this Toaster and Hydra to connect. Another quick chip in, but doesn't have enough health to keep this tempo, and he's going to lose it out to another nade. Jico going to try to go for the rush, but the third arm going to be able to reach in. Only one of those can get deflected, the other one just safely diving right in. And now Astro holding on to another sizable lead. Sees a nice opportunity to go for the rush. Jico tries to go for the evade, but Coil's movement allows him to safely line up that camera and keep up that pressure. Jico now at critical health, doesn't have much to work with, and can only take a single hit more. And it's going to be another well-aimed nade, connecting to Jico and putting Astro 2-0 advantage. Looking for one more win to close out the tournament. And it looks like we're going to be going back to sparring ring for the next bout. Jico's potential last stand here might not be able to make it out. Might have to settle in with second place. We'll have to see if he's got any tricks, any more plays in his sleeves to be able to take down this double nade Coil. You might have heard that one. I think that rumble was audible. I wish I had a balcony so I could just go stand outside and enjoy it all. Astro starting off very strong, just layering in these explosions. Just making a feast out of Jico's health pool. Not going to be able to connect with that rush. Just continually just throwing these explosions, these blasts at Jico's face. Nade is one of the more difficult things for Lollipop to play against just because of that explosion. As I said before, the timing on that perfect shield is so awkward and difficult to land that if you're just not on top of your game, you really are not going to be able to keep up with Coil. Especially since at certain points you just kind of have to sit there and eat 5 or 6 explosions in a row. Rush is going to come out relatively clean, and that's going to be a round KO. Astro now looking for one final win to close out the 30-second Scrapstar. I would commentate more, but I'm listening very closely because I want to hear the rain start. Ooh, awesome, nice confirm. Astro gonna be able to just get another nice solid 300 damage off of that nade blast. And Jico now knocked into 50% of his health. Astro yet to fall below 75. Jico finally finds that opportunity. The two healths combined would equal enough to have a full character at this point. Jico has like so much work to be able to bring this back. That rush not going to be enough to take Jico out, but is going to put him in critical health. Just a couple of light hits would be enough. I think he canceled out that Hydra. The Hydra would have hit Astro, but he pulled it back just a little too early. And he's going to miss out on some damage, and he's going to end up losing the match. Maybe not specifically because of that, but Astro going to be able to take the grand finals with a clean 3-0 and wins the 30-second Scrapstar. I hear the rain. It's very nice. And with that, that closes out the 30-second Scrapstar. Congratulations to Astro for winning. Hope he enjoys his 5 strong boxes that he will get to open and consume or do something with. I don't know. That's his now. Oh, that was a good one. Jico will take 2nd place. Nergigante will claim 3rd. J-Ro 4th. And with that, we close out this week's Scrapstar. Tune in next week for another exciting week. Potentially more prizes, more things for people who participate. Here's to more arms in the future.